And welcome back to Subculture After Dark. Well, there is a tour coming up in Australia in November that we know a lot of you are excited about. Gloryhammer are touring with Ramahoy and Livewire, and we thought, you know what, we want to know a little bit more about this amazing tour, so let's get one of the members of Gloryhammer on the phone right now to chat all about it. Welcome to the program, Paul.
Hi, thank you very much.
Mate, how excited are you about being able to head down under to here to Australia for this tour? Because you've got so many fans that cannot wait for these shows.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be great. We've only been to Australia once before, and that's the only time I personally have ever visited Australia. So, for two reasons, yeah, I'm really excited to come back.
So how did you find those shows last time? A lot of people talk about Australian fans being some of the wildest in the world. How did you find those shows when you were here last time?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy because that was only I believe, our second ever tour, which is pretty unusual. A band from the UK coming to Australia for the second ever tour. So everything was pretty small back then as well. But in many ways, the smallest shows are the craziest shows because you get the craziest people coming to those shows. So maybe this time things will be a bit bigger, but hopefully people will be just as crazy.
Definitely, and you've got some amazing bands playing alongside you as well. You've got Ramahoy coming. Tell us a little bit about them, because I don't know that many of our listeners know all that much about Ramahoy. So tell us a little bit about these crazy Argentinians.
Well, they're pretty secretive, so I don't know that much about them myself either. But I do know they all have secret identities. They wear hockey masks on stage, and they're pretty scary pirates. And all they seem to know about is the sea, and pirate stuff. But they're a fun band. They are a really fun band to watch and to tour with as well. Actually, they're really nice guys.
Awesome. And the other band, of course, that you're touring with this time around is a band that needs no introduction in Australia, Livewire. How much do you know about those guys?
Not a huge amount, actually. I did briefly check them out. They're kind of thrashy, or like very thrashy, which is always fun. I like a bit of thrash metal, so yeah, I'm looking forward to checking them out in person.
Awesome. Now, you guys couldn't be coming to Australia at a better time because you're touring off the back of this amazing new album, Return to the Kingdom of Fife. What's it been like touring the tracks off this album? Because this album is absolutely amazing.
Oh, well, thank you very much, firstly. Yeah, I mean, it's been a step up musically, so it's more challenging to play these songs. A lot of like key changes happening in places that we're not used to. You know, we used to do the old like just a key change at the end of the song, this kind of thing. But no, these songs just have like different keys and different verses, and then like complicated riffs happening in different keys, and it just makes it, you know, when you play guitar, it makes it way more challenging to play, but also keeps me on my toes. You know, I've got to concentrate on what I'm doing. But yeah, but still fun, and that's the main thing about what we do. We try and keep it as fun as possible.
Now, of course, you introduced us to the Kingdom of Fife way back in 2013. Was there always a plan to do a second album that was about the return of, or did that just come out of the blue for you guys and you decided to start working on it?
I guess it's been a concept that's been kind of floating around for a long time. And I guess after the last album, we kind of knew this was the time we wanted to do it. But it's kind of how we work. We have ideas and concepts that are already there. We just don't know when we're going to use them. So we've kind of known for the last couple of years even that this is what we were going to do. But it's always a little bit unexpected when things come up, or what we're going to do next, you know.
Yeah, you mentioned before about them being a little bit of a challenge to play these tracks live, and of course, even like with the last single, with the choir and stuff like that, how have you gone about replicating those things live?
Well, I mean, to the best of our ability, we try and replicate the record, you know. But of course, there's a lot more going on the record than can be produced by five guys standing on a stage. So some things are, you know, simplified or stripped back. You know, obviously, like sometimes on the album you'll hear 3 guitars playing at once, which I'm only one guy. So sometimes I have to like switch between parts, like where on the album I'll be playing like a lead line along with a riff. If you see us live, sometimes that lead line will be on the keyboards and I'll just be playing the riff, because if there's a choice, I normally go with the riff, because without that you lose the power of the live sound, you know. Yep. And we have the advantage, we have a keyboardist, so we could kind of transfer melodies over to there if we need to.
You've had a pretty hectic summer run in Europe with the shows. What's it been like being able to get back out there and play live shows after the pandemic? That must have been such a relief.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, initially it was kind of weird because you're locked away for like the best part of 2 years, like, and you just forget what it's like to be in a crowded room or, you know, just in a place with lots of people. So the first few shows we did coming back were like, oh my God, this is crazy. I can't believe how many people are in the same place, you know. But that quickly went away. That's almost like a distant memory now.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the festivals and things we've been doing the last this year especially, but even last year too, are just kind of back to how things were, which is great. You know, we missed it the whole time, and it's nice to get back to some sort of normality and rhythm, you know.
Was there a sense of guilt there? I remember talking to a lot of people here in Australia when we first started to go back to shows, and some of the shows were very, very subdued. And when you would talk to people, they would say, like, I live in what was one of the most locked down cities in the world, and a lot of people were saying that there was almost a sense of guilt about being able to get back out to shows. Was that something that you found as well?
Not so much guilt, just I guess a little bit of trepidation.
Yeah.
Like the first proper tour we did was at the end of 2021. I think in Australia things were still a lot more locked down.
Yeah, we were still locked down for 2021. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was kind of strange to be touring then, definitely, and everything was very, very cautious. You know, everyone was wearing masks and all of this kind of thing. And actually, following that tour, I actually got COVID
Yep.
for the first time. So it goes to show, yeah, it was definitely still around and prevalent. But by that point, you know, it wasn't such an emergency like it was in the initial stages.
Yeah.
And by that point as well, we felt like, you know, if not now, then will things ever go back to how they were? And you had to kind of weigh up, you know, whether it's worth sacrificing just enjoyment and social experiences for this pandemic that had gone on for almost 2 years by that point, you know.
Yeah.
And that was just the first step of a careful progression, I guess, back towards where we are now, where it's as I say, just like a memory. It's things have really moved on now, which is great.
Definitely. Now, talking about these shows coming up in Australia, how difficult is it for you guys now to put together a set list, because you've got such an amazing back catalogue of music to choose from?
Yeah, it's getting harder. Like we'd almost got used to never having enough songs, and there'd always be one song where we'd be like, hey, not crazy about playing this song, but you know, we've got to build something out. Now it's like, oh God, we have all these songs, and how are we gonna fit them all into a set? You know, especially when we play some of these festivals and we can only play for sometimes like 45 minutes, you know, and then we're like, what do we cut? You know, it's like when you have lots of children and you have to pick 8 out of 10 of them or something, you know, it becomes really difficult. So yeah, but when it comes to a headline show, it's a great luxury now. We finally feel like we're at the point where we can put on a headline show and just choose whatever songs we want to play, and we feel great about every single one of them, and still have some in reserve. If we want to switch it up, we can still do that. So yeah, it's brilliant.
Now, the question that we ask all of the international guests that we have on this show who are coming to Australia, what are you looking forward to doing in our country away from the stage?
Well, it's going to be such a brief tour, which is a tragedy, that I can't see us having a huge amount of time to do much. Saying that, over the past couple of years, I've started to get really into surfing.
Yep.
And like we're going to be, on the coast a lot, and some of the best surf locations in the world. So if I get even an hour, any chance, anything at all, I'm going to run straight to the beach, and I'm going to catch some waves, hopefully.
Awesome. Well, Paul, we are running right out of time. So to finish off, what would you like to say to all of your fans out there who cannot wait for these amazing shows?
I mean, I just want to say we cannot wait to come back. It's been over 9 years since we were first there, and we've wanted to come back ever since. So yeah, we cannot wait to come back to Australia and play some great headline shows for you.